All right. Well, welcome everybody to our eco-friendly Rotary Club meeting. Appreciate your time. I'll go ahead and ring the bell, and we'll do our four-way test. So if you're a Rotarian, you can unmute yourself and you can say it with me. So of the things we think, say, and do,
Is
is
it
it the
true?
truth?
Truth?
Is
Is
it
it
fair
fair
to
to
all
all
concerned?
Concerned?
Will it
Will
build
it
Will it
build
better
goodwill
friendships?
and better friendships?
Will it be
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
concerned?
All right. And I think we have one guest that I've identified here. Alexandra, can I put you on the spot to say hello?
Hi there. My name's Alexandra. I'm actually friends with Julia. I don't know if she's in today or not, but she's wonderful. I live in Brevard County and I'm visiting different Rotary clubs, and she invited me to visit this one. So I'm excited to hang out and hear what you guys talk about and just take it in.
Well, we're happy to have you. Thank you for joining.
Of course.
All right, good. And then we'll go ahead and check out our announcements. Anything, anything for the good of the order? Any big announcements?
Yeah, I don't know who's all planning on going, but Julia's district conference is the first couple of days in November, isn't it? Kimberly, it's in the newsletter. I can't remember. So it's part of it's a cruise.
At the cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I can't go have another conflict. So
I'm trying to think. Let me look at yeah, it's the weekend of the I'm flying down on the 6th. So I guess we sail on the 7th. So it's that Labor Day weekend or Veterans Day weekend, not Labor Day.
yeah, Labor
When
Day.
you're retired, it's just a holiday weekend. Who the hell
Yeah.
knows? Veterans Day weekend. We're going to one of those B places. I can never remember. Bahamas, Bermuda, I don't know. We're getting on a boat, we're going.
It's not Bermuda, because I said if I'd known it was Bermuda, I would have tried to go harder. And you said, oh no, it's one of the Bahamas.
Yeah, I haven't been there either, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
If I can add, there's also a district conference on land portion, which is Saturday, November 2nd. And that's going to be in Port St. Lucie, where they have like grant writing and things like that. So that's just an in and out one day thing.
Yeah, no, I'm going to the Women's March in Washington that day. So I live outside of Washington, D.C., so I'll be at the Women's March.
All right. And anybody have anything they'd like to share for I Fix the Planet? So Alexandra, Ellen, if you didn't notice, we're the Eco-Friendly Rotary Club, and one thing we do is we participate with the ESRAG, which is the environmentally sustainable Rotary Action Groups. It's like a global community of Rotary clubs. There's about, I don't know, 150-ish that focus on economic or environmentally friendly or ecology in their clubs as their mission. And this is something that we do. It's something you can put on socials. So if you wanted to follow that hashtag or that mention, you can do that. But anybody have anything they'd like to share? No? All right. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and do our happy bucks, sad bucks. Let's start with birthdays and anniversaries. Any birthdays or anniversaries?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, that's easy. How about sad bucks? We'll start with the bad news. Ends on a high note. Go ahead, Susan.
I have a sad $5 for all the destruction of the hurricane, and you think you're safe in North Carolina near the mountains, and not anymore. And you see the destruction up there. And I reached out to my college roommate who lives between Boone and Blowing Rock, but they're up on a mountain, so I figured they were okay, but I haven't heard from her. So hopefully they're just not getting service. But I think they're safe. But I'm just waiting to hear from her.
Well, I hope they're safe. It's pretty devastating.
Yeah, I just saw pictures last night of Chimney Rock, which they were before and after. Cute little one street town, and it was just
Gone.
It was just gone.
Yeah, it's gone. And I think the death toll is going to go way higher than it is right now. It's over 100 now. I think it's going to be closer to 500.
Yeah.
Goodness. Is this happy bucks? Any happy bucks from the group?
I have a happy bug, or actually two maybe. So those of who are living in Florida, I just wanted to let you know that I am coming to Florida in November.
Oh,
Awesome.
Oh, yay.
Yep. So we can plan a meeting.
Okay.
Nice.
When are you gonna be and where are you gonna be here in Brevard or?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at Neil and Connie's.
Oh,
So
good. You'll be right around the corner. Okay,
yeah.
excellent.
Where are you
November
going?
17th, I will be landing, but late at night. So my first
Yeah.
day will be the 18th. So I will be there until the December 27th. I will leave just
Wow.
before Thanksgiving. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
great.
wow.
Thanks. November 27th,
Yeah.
December 27th. So you're here on.
No, November. So November 17th, I will come, and November 27th.
Okay, so you'll leave the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're gonna miss an American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was so sad about it, but I was watching the planes and I was like, oh, there's no way I can stay longer. I just have to leave before Thanksgiving because the plane tickets were so expensive and I had work thing on the next week. And I was like, okay, I
Oh,
just
yeah, that's the worst week in the world, at least in this country, to try and travel and get a decent ticket, especially to Florida at that time of year.
Yeah, yeah. And my second happy bug is that today I locked myself out from my apartment and I didn't have my keys or my phone with me. And I'm so lucky that I have such good neighbors. So they were able to they had a phone, so I called my parents to bring my spare key, and they actually invited me inside to their apartment to have coffee and like cinnamon buns and just to wait there. And I didn't have to wait in the outside of the in
I
the
think
cold.
I think you should make that a habit. Just make it a
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah, I told them that I will do it happen, and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, please come." They are like an elderly couple, and they don't work anymore, so they're like so happy.
That's great. That's
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
awesome. Give him a key.
Yeah,
Eventually give
I
him a
should
key.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All
that's
right.
my two happy bugs.
Thank you. Susie?
Um, I took, I have Hessa, who's the Ugandan exchange student staying with me. And I've lost our picture here. I'm trying to get back to it. And I took her last week so she could speak. Sadly, they had canceled school that day. So Thursday, because of the hurricane, theoretically she could have slept late, but I had to get her up and she had to leave at 6:45 to get to the Rotary Club meeting for a breakfast meeting. But it was fun and they really enjoyed her. And I said that it's a breakfast buffet and they have this giant vat of bacon. And I said that I was happy to be there and have her there, and that she's a very easy kid to be around. And the only eating constraint is she doesn't like pork. She won't eat pork. I said, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to take that 6-pound vat of bacon you've got there and take it home and eat with me. Cause eat it because I haven't had pork for almost a month, and I'm going to eat all that bacon. But it was fun, and she was well received, and it's a fun group. That's a fun club to visit. So that was fun. So I was happy $1 to get her out to do that.
Yeah, go ahead, Ella.
So I will also say that Hessa is super easy and lovely. So on Saturday, I took Hessa along with me to go up and down Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral beaches. And we were checking on the life preserver stations. That's a Cocoa Beach Rotary Club project. We have these life ring rescue stations to make up for the hours that we don't have lifeguards. So I go up and down the beach once or twice a week and check and make sure they're in good condition and see if there's evidence they were used. So we had a great time. We got rained on at the very end, and then I took her to the zoo and she had a great time there. And in between, I fed her avocado toast for the first time, which she really enjoyed, with bread made in my bread maker, which is low waste. So
She was
I'll
saying
give
how
Susan
good that
a couple
was.
happy dollars for that.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's really quite lovely.
Nice. All right. Well, great. I think that's a good segue, Ellen, to go and introduce you. So Ellen is a former Rotary Exchange student to Australia and a Rotary Ambassadorial Scholar, recipient to Taiwan. She retired from a career in technical sales in 2022 and moved to Cocoa Beach from Pennsylvania. I'll let you guys read the rest. My voice is given out, but I'm so happy to have you here, Ellen, with us. And if it's okay, I'll go ahead and stop sharing and turn over screen share privileges to you if you need to. And you're muted. Just
Ellen, you're still on mute.
All right. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Try it now. That might have been earlier. If you clicked it earlier, you got to click it again.
Okay, so. I apologize. I'm not sure how to get this to work.
Is there when you click
Share
that green?
screen. Okay, there we are. And share.
And we can see your screen now, so that's good.
Okay. All right, good deal. Okay. And also, I do want to say hi to Alexandra. I did meet her at a Chamber of Commerce event weeks ago. So lovely to see you here as well.
Good to see.
All right. So my previous Rotary Club was Murraysville Export up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where our current Rotary International president is from. And we were very active in making people more aware of the problems of single-use plastic. Here in Cocoa Beach, I'm president of the Rotary Club of Cocoa Beach, and I'm also the district chair for Youth Exchange. And then one of my other volunteer jobs, I retired a couple of years ago, as I'm a member of Citizens Climate Lobby, and I'm in charge of tabling, which is like grassroots outreach, as well as membership. So those are some of the things that I've been doing to keep busy since I'm retired. So one of the international projects you may or may not heard of is End Plastic Soup. Some of our members had gone to of my old Rotary Club had gone to the international conference in Germany, and they saw a bunch of people that had giant hats with different pieces of single-use plastic garbage hanging down from them, which of course is a great way to start a conversation. So they asked them what that was all about, and they said they are part of a group called End Plastic Soup. And they were noticing with some alarm all of the single-use plastics showing up in their canals and other waterways, and they decided that they should set the goal of reducing plastic pollution in the world. And Plastic Soup also cooperates. You mentioned SRAG and complies with the Rotary bylaws. That could possibly be something that maybe we could start an End Plastic Soup committee in the district, or if you're interested in your club. But that's sort of where a lot of my advocacy for minimizing the use of single-use plastic came from. I will also, full disclosure, I retired from the packaging industry. So it was a Danish exchange student that we hosted that said, how can you care about the environment and be part of the problem in the packaging industry? And I used to like her before she said that. But no, it was a good wake-up call for me. And I kept asking my husband, when can I retire so I can start working on the solution rather than being part of the problem? So let's talk about some of the single-use plastics that we see quite commonly. You've got your t-shirt bag, as it's called in the industry, or those plastic bags that they have at the grocery store. That lasts for about 20 years. Your plastic straws are about 200 years. And, you know, for many thousands of years, humans were able to drink without straws. And I would like to mention that we probably still can. Plastic water bottles last 450 years. And, you know, plastic toothbrushes last a long time. Plastic cutlery is probably somewhere in the 300-year range. And because there's so many of these items that are used only once by billions of people every day that get thrown away, not everything ends up where it should. And, you know, of course, that's a lot of stuff. So 14 million tons of plastic, more or less, end up in our oceans every year. And, you know, if you live along the beach like we do, we see it wash up as well. So let's go back to that water bottle at 450 years. If they last that long, why are we using them only once? And why is industry promoting them to be used only once? And why is this allowed to happen millions and millions of times per day? Well, it's because plastic is cheap. The lower your price, I'll go back to our Econ 101 demand curve. So the less something costs, the more you're going to sell. So basically, they're going with the cheapest solution, and that's why we find single-use plastics being used so prolifically around and polluting the world. So plastics are a growing problem. Even though we know that this is an issue, every year we're making more and more single-use plastic, and the U.S. is the top producer of single-use plastics globally. So you can see how the numbers are climbing. For us, we don't see so much of it here in the U.S. We'll see the little bits of plastic garbage occasionally, and it's if you do see a plastic bag floating around in the environment or other plastic items, I'd like to encourage you to safely pick it up and dispose of it properly if you can. But this is not proper disposal. So a lot of the plastics that don't get recycled, and it's only 9% globally of single-use plastic that actually get recycled, end up getting shipped to third world countries that are desperate for money and end up polluting their environments just to accept our money and our trash. There's an organization called the Ocean Cleanup that has been working on the ocean pollution problem, and they have removed a lot of plastic from the ocean. But if you see, they're saying 15 million kilograms, which is 15,000 metric tons. I mean, that's not even close to the amount of plastic that's, it's a losing battle. They're not really gaining ground on the problem because it's such a big problem. But, there are some solutions out there to work on the cleanup. So let's talk about how plastics break down. So initially, when plastics are out in the environment, they'll start breaking up into smaller and smaller pieces. Microplastics are actually pieces that are 5 millimeters and smaller. And these are some of the things that end up turning into microplastics. So you've got your bottles breaking down, you've got fibers from, plastic clothing, small plastic pellets that are used in industries sometimes are dumped into the environment. And then somebody even had the bright idea a few years ago to use microbeads in some of the soaps and washes, which were teeny tiny pieces of plastic that you could use as sort of an exfoliant. And then you use those and they go down the drain and they end up in the environment. Those have been largely banned at this point. But because these pieces of plastic are so small, they end up getting into the food chain. And then we eventually, they're either in the food or in the water, and we consume them, and then we end up with plastics in our system, which are, of course, not good for us. I mean, if it made us skinny, that would be one thing, but it really is, you can't even get that out of the problem. So another thing I wanted to mention about recyclable items is I've noticed a trend where, especially at gas stations, people are throwing away things that could be recycled. You're pumping gas, you're waiting for the gas to fill up, and you've got a bottle in your car or something like that. And their waste bins tend to be overflowing. So I wanted to just put a little PSA out there and say, consider waiting until you get home and getting it into the recycling stream, because if it goes into the trash, like I said, those plastic bottles, it's 450 years before they break down into their original components. Here in Cocoa Beach, we had a talk from Kevin Smith, who's the recycling coordinator for Brevard, and he loves to give talks. So if you guys need a speaker, he would be a really good one also. I don't know if you've had him yet or not. But he talked about things that can't be recycled. Those single-use plastic bags can't be recycled here in Cocoa Beach in the regular waste stream, nor can foam. But this is Publix at Banana River Square here in Cocoa Beach. I take my plastic bags and foam, what little I have, I take it there to be recycled. So that's one way to keep it out of the landfill. So let's talk about some other things that can be recycled. So straws can't be recycled. you know, even though your toothpaste tube has a number 6 with chasing arrows on it, those chasing arrows are actually quite deceptive. They're supposed to make us feel good about buying all these plastics things, some of which don't get recycled. Number 6 means other. So that's definitely not going to be recycled. Plastic cutlery, and then your milk jugs or almond milk jugs, they have a plastic lining in the paper to keep it from leaking. And then the other one that a lot of people don't realize is these clamshell containers for like tomatoes, strawberries, blueberries, or other types of fruit that's already cut up. They're number 5, which should be very recyclable, but you actually cannot recycle them here in Cocoa Beach. It's not so much the material, but the way it's made. So all of these things can't be recycled, and if possible, would be great to avoid if you can. So let's talk about some ways that we can cut down on some of the trash. And, you know, most things that get to Brevard County solid waste in the recycling bins, a large percentage of those do get recycled, but really we need to try to use less single-use stuff in the first place because it's just so much. So takeout really blew up during COVID. And I like to encourage people, you know, you can go back and you can sit in the restaurant and eat in the restaurant instead of doing takeout and having plastic trash as a result. So I like to encourage people to do that. When I go out to eat with my husband, there's usually leftovers involved, and we bring our own takeout containers, much to the mortification of our daughters when they're along with us. But I contend that if you can't embarrass your children, why have them? Just bring those containers along, use those, and make less trash.
Ellen, I have noticed a lot of some of the restaurants in the area, and I don't actually go out to eat that much, but I have noticed that like Florida Fresh Grill, where you met up with us the other night, they were using some sort of cardboard, like a reinforced cardboard, to send the leftovers home. And some of the restaurants are trying to use more recyclable kinds of things. I don't know that they were recyclable, but at least it wasn't styrofoam or plastic. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's certainly more a better choice than styrofoam, because styrofoam's a really bad one. You know,
it's no good.
I think I'm among friends here, and I can say that styrofoam really should be banned altogether because it's just such a big problem, and it's very hard to recycle. What I really need to do is put an air tag on some styrofoam that I drop off at the Publix, and any styrofoam that I drop off is usually something that I pick up that somebody failed to put in the right bin.
Right.
But I'd like to see if it ends up at the landfill or what they're actually doing with it. But that's a whole nother.
Another question, since you had the Publix things up there, I couldn't see what all 4 of them were. I have a million egg cartons. Some of them the plastic kind, some of them the cardboard kind. And I have a few friends with chickens with eggs, but their chickens just don't produce enough to use all the eggs. So
Right.
What are you doing with egg cartons these days? Just finding a chicken farm?
Yeah, so I usually get the cardboard ones. I'm mostly vegan at home, so I don't go through a lot of eggs, but the rest of my family, I mean, I don't want a divorce, so my husband is not vegan, and my children, you know, they'll eat eggs sometimes. So I just buy the compostable ones, but yeah. I do see the styrofoam egg cartons in the Publix recycling bin that I showed there.
Okay, but not the plastic ones. I haven't seen a place to put those either.
So the clear plastic ones would fall under the same categorization as the clamshells. So so they would be very difficult to recycle.
But you can just give them to, if you can find someone who's got a lot of chickens, give them to
Yes.
them, they can use them. And I knew someone to do that with, but he doesn't have his chickens anymore, so. I don't know.
Darn, because those are the best eggs. Like once you have the eggs with the orangey golden yolks, there's no going back to the other.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, so we have our coffee cups and beverage cups. There's also, we talked about plastic cutlery. This is a drawing of bamboo cutlery. I actually have some plastic cutlery with a little lid on it. I think Alexandra saw me use that at the chamber event, but I have a better picture of that coming up. But If you can avoid using plastic cutlery by bringing your own, most of us have a big enough bag to put a small kit of plastic cutlery in. Just takes a little bit of prep and reminding. Reusable bags. If you get a good sturdy one, you don't want a crappy one because it's not going to last very long and then it's going to become trash. But a good, well-made reusable bag can replace thousands of single-use plastic bags. And then, of course, bottling your own water in a reusable quality container is better than even if you're recycling your bottles. Again, it may or may not actually get recycled, and you're creating emissions in the production of the bottle as well as in the recycling, and it's petroleum products. So I highly recommend. There's cost savings as well as doing the right thing for the planet. Produce bags and Ziploc bags. So here's a weird one that I do, and I should have warned you in advance. I should put in the bio that I'm a little weird. But the produce bags can be washed and reused. I probably get like 20 uses out of them before they start to tear. But I have a little drying mechanism here that I use. I have a couple drying right now on my drying area. And then these bags here on the left are called stasher bags. I use those for sandwiches and snacks and things like that, but they go right in the dishwasher. So I just open it up, put it in the dishwasher. I've had these for years and they've served me very well. And then there are also some cloth produce bags that you can use. When you need to wash them, you just put them in the laundry. So here's a little starter kit I put together that you might want to consider carrying in your car. So, I've got my water bottle, I've got a very robust reusable bag, a couple of leftovers containers, a hot beverage cup, a cold beverage cup, some single-use or multi-use straws, and then these are the cutlery sets that I was mentioning earlier. So it's got a fork, knife, and spoon and a little plastic cover. So I just put that in my purse, and I'm ready to go whenever I need to use some cutlery and I don't want to, pollute. A couple other, I always, it helps to save money when you're doing these things. So I wanted to put a couple examples of that in here. So this is my Publix here in Cocoa Beach. This is romaine lettuce. You can buy it in a bag and you'll pay like $3 a bag. Or you can pay about $3 for a head of lettuce, cut it up at home, and you get about 3 bags worth. I use my reusable produce bags, and I create almost no waste except for this little band around the belly there of the lettuce. So I buy most of my produce, vegetables, fruits open in bulk instead of pre-bagged or in a clamshell, and I make very little waste. I strive for zero waste, but I can't call myself that because I'm not quite close enough yet. And then Fresh Market in Melbourne, I'm sorry for those of you who are far away, this is Sunseed Co-op in Cape Canaveral. They have some open bins where you can refill your containers and bags. I just got coffee there the other day, so I'm not using a coffee bag that gets thrown away. And then as far as snacking is concerned, most of the salty snacks out there aren't the best for you. So if you're looking to be a little healthier, I highly recommend making your own popcorn. You can season it with cinnamon and sugar, or I have this like mushroom type seasoning on it. It's very earthy and yummy to me. Making your own popcorn is very low waste. This bag can be recycled at Publix. They make these bags into park benches, by the way. Eventually, when they get a lot of them. Another idea for you as far as plastics are concerned and other things that you may be thinking about sending to the landfill is there's a Facebook group called Buy Nothing. And you give away and you ask for things that you don't want to pay for. So for example, right now I have out on the Brevard County Buy Nothing, I'm looking for some pink plastic flamingos. I'm going to paint them blue and put them out because that's not allowed in my condo. People are always giving away things. Some of them are actually quite nice. And so it's called the gift economy. I used this when we were moving down here. I gave away a lot of things to people that were very happy to have them. So it's a great way to get and give things. I also am a big thrifter and consignment shop type person. So this is Fantastic Fashions on Merritt Island, one of my favorite places. She has lots of very high quality used and fashionable clothing articles, super fun. And then one of my favorite hobbies is to go and get thrift shorts and then just sew fun little patches all over them. So if you see me out and about, you'll probably see me in something like that. As far as soaps and detergents and other type items, there is a business here locally. Again, apologies to those of you who are far away, but you might have, they're called refilleries, refill stores. So Amber from the delivery refillery will refill your bottles. She'll come to your door and she'll refill the bottles that you already have or provide you with a new bottle to be reused multiple times. So that's how I get around shampoos and things like that. Detergents, etc. I get my bottles refilled rather than new plastic bottles. So I know this is a lot. I've been working on this journey since my Danish exchange student lived with me 8 years ago. But you know, I believe that when you know better, you do better. For me, I think about every single thing that I throw away, and that may sound painful to some of you, but you know, it's important to know where these things are going. And I also hope that I gave you some ideas that will help you maybe use a little bit less single-use plastic, or even a lot less single-use plastic, because we're all a little bit plastic at this point, some of us more so than others. But they found you know, evidence of plastic in our bloodstreams and all over our bodies now, which is very scary because it's not good for us. A little note about, I take these slides out for the strongly conservative clubs, but I left these in for you guys. This is a brand study that's done globally. So around the planet, they have teams of people in different areas that take a survey of the plastic trash that they find to see who the biggest polluters really are. So Coca-Cola has been #1 for a long time. Pepsi was #2 for quite a while, but they've dropped to 4. I don't know that they nearly need to be applauded for that, but Nestle was 3 for a while. Now they're 2. You know, a lot of these companies are selling single-use plastic items into countries that don't have robust recycling systems. And I think that's wrong. So there is a movement called Break Free from Plastic. You can see that on the bottom of the screen, hashtag Break Free from Plastic, that you can get involved with. There's something called Plastic Free July, but for you guys, I updated my slide. Maybe you would consider trying Plastic Free October and think about changing 1 or 2 habits that would allow you to use less single-use plastic. So maybe you're ready to give up straws, or maybe you're ready to give up plastic cutlery, or styrofoam coffee cups or something. So I encourage you to consider changing a habit or 2 for the better of the planet. I also think it's super important, something that I learned through my Citizens Climate Lobby, super important to call and write your elected officials and tell them how you feel, because they do keep track of this sort of information. So there is a Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act, and you can call or email your congressman at the moment to ask them to co-sponsor it. And just, you know, I've really gotten in the habit of writing to my elected officials quite a lot since I've retired, because why not? You know, I want to be heard. I want our movement to be heard. This is something that I've put out sort of as a handout, or if you want to scan any QR codes, please feel free to take the time to do that. But some companies that you can buy from to get laundry pods or lip gloss in a recyclable package or compostable package, etc. So feel free to help yourself to any of that, and I can go back to that later. So just to recap what you can do, make sure you put plastics where they belong. Look for ways to replace single-use plastics with reusable items. Vote with your dollars. That's an important one. Tell your elected officials how you feel about plastic, because ultimately policy is going to be needed to hold producers accountable for the upstream redesign and investments in reuse, recycling, and composting. So, I mean, I can be zero waste, well, close to it, but that's not going to solve the problem globally. We really are going to need to get some legislation passed in order to do that. But, you know, if we all talk about it, then we're going to be heading in the right direction. Any questions?
One of the things I did, Ellen, and I don't quite know what to do. If you've got like a bottle of Clorox or a bottle, because some of that stuff, and maybe I can use the lady that you're talking about. You can buy the bulk items from her and just keep reusing the jugs, right? But I have an old jug of all or whatever, and I don't know what to do with those. I don't want to. Some of them I don't feel like I can reuse for stuff, but what do you do? You just have to throw them out, right?
So your jug of laundry
Tide
detergent,
or yeah.
yeah. So I think those are number 2 typically. So that's high density polyethylene, which is actually quite a valuable recyclable. So you could recycle that jug and then switch over to Delivery Refillery, and she can get you a good starter jug with a pump, and then you could go use that from there on out.
Well, what I am doing for laundry at this point, because I don't have a lot of really dirty clothes. So I found it in, my friends are using it in England. It's a laundry egg, and it is plastic, but it's reusable.
But it's reusable.
Fill it with pellets of laundry stuff and just you just throw it in and pull it out when you're done. And then eventually I have to refill it after, I don't know, 90 washings or something. But I also tried laundry sheets, but which is probably actually even better, but I did get the egg to try that. So that seems to work pretty well.
Okay, very good.
And then I always use reusable bags. Once in a while I'll get a plastic bag because you want something that's dripping or something, you just throw it in the plastic bag. But I reuse those for, waste baskets in the bathrooms and stuff. So I feel like I do get a little bit of reuse out of them, but it is tough.
Absolutely.
It just, everything is plastic. Everything we
Very
buy.
true.
And I do have the reusable produce bags, which I'm not as good about remembering them as I am about, I always use the reusable grocery bags, but I'm not quite as good about that with the others, but I do small things, but it's just not enough,
Right. Well, we can beat ourselves up about it. It sounds like you're thinking along the right lines. As far as the reusable produce bags, I just put them with my other reusable bags. So I have one of them is full of the produce bags that I use. And then I just have to remember to grab those when I go to the grocery store, which has now it has become a habit now, but it wasn't initially. And I had to write it on my grocery list. Bring produce bags. Yeah. Alexandra, did you have a question?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. That was awesome. So I used to live in California for 6 years before coming back to Florida. And one thing that they did in California that really shaped the way that I think in the checkout line at grocery stores is you had to bring your own grocery bag, or else they would charge you in the checkout line, and they only had paper bags available at most grocery stores, or you could pay extra for a plastic bag. So it really emphasized using paper or bringing your own. And I also wanted to touch on what you said about the microplastics coming off of fashion and clothing. So I actually am the president of a nonprofit here called Space Swap, and that's the specific niche that we tackle is sustainable fashion. So we actually had a meetup last night. We have a sewing club that runs. Oh yeah, and we meet once a month.
Can't get it to focus. There we are.
So we get to teach people skills like how to repurpose their clothing and things like that, because I think it's the #2 polluter in the world right now is fashion, fast fashion specifically. So thank you for bringing that up and talking about the microplastics. And that was a really great presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And here, I'll show you this is one of my project, so
Oh, there you go.
making jeans and
Oh, wow.
Cute.
Very
so
cool.
anyway,
Very
Awesome.
cute.
yes, fun.
And you mentioned Fantastic Fashions. I've been meaning to go there because I've got a ton of stuff I need to consign and get rid of. But and I actually had an appointment in August, but I just had too many things going on, so I postponed. So I need to make an appointment to go and take.
Yeah,
some-
and Angie has a great shop there. I mean, if I have an event I want to go to that I want to buy a new dress, that's where I go, and I usually pay like between $8 and $12 for it, and it's fabulous. So
Yeah, I need
she's
to-
awesome.
I'll do that this afternoon. I'll call them and make an appointment.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That was very good. Excellent. It's
well,
so
I hope it was
discouraging how
helpful, and I
there's-
really appreciate the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, there's just so much plastic, like you just can't get away from it. And we don't have the stores that have like the big bins where you can go buy tomatoes or whatever. I guess if you go to the produce, the little farmers markets and stuff, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't do that.
can get just about everything that I want to get at Publix. There are a few things that I can't find there in bulk. I have had to give up strawberries and blueberries because I haven't found a way to get them in a container that I can recycle. And I do vote with my dollars. If
Yeah.
if it's gonna end up in a landfill, then it's not for me.
Yeah.
So I do want to mention there's the polio eradication fundraisers that are going around and around the district. If you're in the area, Oasis Shave Ice here in Cocoa Beach is going to be doing an event tomorrow night from 6 to 8. She has amazing shave ice, but she serves it in styrofoam containers. But if you bring your own cup, she will put it in. It has to look very clean. She'll put yours in your own cup. So,
Okay.
I just wanted to put that out there. 6 to 8 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday at Oasis. My club's going to have their polio ice cream for polio that Jula put together. We'll have our event then. So
Oh,
come
cool.
join us if you can.
Okay. I don't know what I have going on. Maybe Hess and I will come over and see that. That would be fun. But that's in Cocoa Beach off of Minuteman. I think I've seen it.
It's like between 1st and 2nd Street North as you head southbound on A1A. So it's
Right.
right on
Okay.
A1A southbound. It'll be on your left.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'll try to make a note to do that. So
I'll put it in the chat just in case.
yeah, great. All right. Well, Sam had to step away. He said he wasn't feeling well at all. Sounds like he's coming down with some sort of crud. So I think if we don't have any other questions or anything, Ellen, that was great. Thanks for doing.
Thank you. It was great. Yeah.
And just so you know, through the League of Women Voters, I saw that someone has something called Recycling Brevard. Are you familiar with him? Marcia Good? I can't remember her last name. Marcia something.
I know Marsha.
Do you know Marcia?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. She's going to speak, I think she said November 12th to our club about Recycling Brevard. So that may be someone, I don't know, Ellen, if you know her, if you want to get her to speak to your club too, that might be someone we could share information about. So
Okay. Yeah. Let me know when she speaks in yours. I'll try to join in and
that for your club could be good.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Because my club is less progressive. So
Yeah,
did.
you're like more traditional.
I can't,
Rotary
I
clubs.
told you guys more than I told them.
Yeah. all their little sensitive bunny rabbit snowflake feelings. I don't have much patience with them anymore.
Well,
yeah.
pick your battles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So all right, if nobody has hey, David, you look like you want to say something. You're just waving. You're getting a big kick out of my eye patch.
Yeah, I'm just waving. Thank you, Ellen, for your presentation. We all use a lot of plastic, but I still get the plastic bags from Publix, but I use it picking up after my dog as well. So the
Right.
ones I don't use, I return to the bins out front. So I meet about halfway.
Right.
I always just my little small thing is I bought some silicone bowl covers, so when I'm saving leftovers and stuff, I don't have to use cling film or anything like that. and they work really, really well. You can leave them on the top when you're microwaving to nuke stuff, and they save stuff really well. And boy, I've gotten a lot of use out of those. And I have my own metal straw that I carry around. People stare at me when I drag it out of my purse, but I carry my own straw around with me wherever I go.
Well, I have, what was I gonna say? Oh, I bought compostable Ziploc baggies. I've got compostable trash bags of my normal kitchen trash. I have compostable dog pickup bags. And so I'm trying to buy those kinds of things. They're not cheap, but you know, so what? I mean, it's a matter of cents here and there. So
Right.
here.
I was really distressed when I was in Japan. I went to Singapore for the conference, but I went to Japan first. And when we went to the grocery store every day on this little island to get our bento box lunches, every single solitary piece of fruit was wrapped in some sort of cling film, individually wrapped in cling film.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, you'd think the Japanese would be a little more tuned into that.
I was shocked. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been surprised if it had been somewhere else, but I was shocked that it was in Japan,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, because
absolutely.
they're really evolved about stuff. So
Yeah, that's shocking. But maybe it's biodegradable.
I don't know. I
I don't
didn't
know.
ask. I don't. My Japanese consists of hello, good morning, and thank you. So we
Yeah.
didn't have that conversation.
Yeah, I get it. All right, kids. Well, I'm gonna go take my bum eye here and go lie down and have a nap after that.
Well, feel better and do
I'm
well with
fine.
your
It just
second
feels
one.
it feels a little irritated, and I just kind of want to lay down and not.
Yeah. Don't forget your drops.
Yep, I'll do my drops as soon as we hang up. All right, Ellen, thanks so much. And
Thank you,
Alexandra,
Ellen.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
And bye.
Bye.
And so we'll take care. And Ellen, I'll see you soon. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you.
I'm gonna close the
Bye.
meeting. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.